Hello, everybody. This is Irina Strunina, and this is our weekly podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. And I'm always inviting everyone to listen to this and share it with your uh, friends, people who are in your family. And I wanted to let you know that on this podcast, usually I am inviting people who are experts, who are healthcare providers, who have some professional educational experience in helping those who've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and type 1 as well. And every last Thursday of the month, I'm inviting to be my guest someone who lives in that experience. People who were diagnosed, people who may be caregivers, people who may have some other immune deficit diagnosis that have very similar um, experiences that people with diabetes, just to share how people are managing those um, news. And today is one of these episodes. We call them Diabetic Warriors. And my guest, Peter, he is actually a caregiver. And when I learned about his story, I thought he will be a great person to be on our podcast. And now, Peter, welcome. Please tell us about yourself. Tell us where you are. Tell us what is your relations to diabetes, and how long you live with this diagnosis in your household.
All right, thank you very much. I'm Peter. I am in Norway, from Norway. I am a father of three children, and my son, he doesn't want me to use his name, so I'll just
Of
call him
course,
my son.
no need.
He has diabetes type 1 and autism and some other diagnoses, right? But I'm also an architect and designer. So yeah, that's about me. So yeah, I take care of my son and uh, he takes care of himself to a huge degree as well, I would say.
Perfect. How old is he?
He's 23.
All right. So he definitely already not the school child that sometimes we have to make arrangements with schools uh, to take care of our children.
Yeah, no, he was I think 8 when he got the diabetes diagnosis. Yeah.
Okay. And
So we
how?
definitely had, and because of, so we had, he went to school, yeah, and to grandparents and everything
Mhm.
with this. Mm.
How did your family emotionally receive this diagnosis? Because in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, very often we see posts from parents whose child got diagnosed, and it could be very young, some infant, but it could be a school-age child or maybe already
Mhm.
grown, 19, 20 years old, and always parents are worried how they will be managing it. How did your family receive this news?
Well, that is actually quite a special story because of his other diagnosis, he had been
Mhm.
through so much pain and stress in the hospital. First for his first whole year of life,
Mhm.
first year. But after that, also we had a hole in his throat, in his stomach. It was just and just walking around with this, going to the hospital. The first thing they do is penetrate your wrist, right?
Mhm.
Just that horrible. Nah, he's addicted to horror movies still because of this, you know. But we were in and out of the hospital all the time, and when we found out that he had diabetes, that I told the doctor, well, good, I had to be go back to work now, and I'll have to put him back to school, and I can go be at the hospital at 5 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
because okay, just another thing to manage.
Yes.
And then it was just it's embarrassing. I mean, you would suspect that I am not a good parent.
Mm-hmm.
If I just told you this story. But so we went to the hospital for those recommended days, 4 days or something like that. And we just wanted to know what we could do.
Yes.
We have been talking to doctors so much. We just know just tell us exactly, and then I will write it down. And I will go home and then we will do it. We would rather sleep at home, please.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have to stay. You are in shock. You have to stay here for 4 days. No, you don't. Well, okay then. So that was kind of, I guess, the story of both me and my wife's reaction.
Okay. So he had already some health challenges. So the diabetes was on top of it. And how did he receive it? Was it a challenge for him? Was he, and how
Mhm.
in Norway it's organized? Do you have some education for parents for people who have this diagnosis, or you have to learn it on your own? How do you do this there?
Works really well, I would say. First, about him, he was terrified, completely terrified of needles. And I had to hold him down, and two people had to help just to test his blood sugar when he was diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
This was on the first floor. And then the day after, on the second floor, uh, we had been discussing, are we going to use a pump or
Mm-hmm.
going to use a pen prick?
Oh,
And
yes.
then he looked at me and talked very slowly and he said, is this going to be every day, every meal, my whole life?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized he was so serious and I said, yes. Well, then I will have the pen prick. And he reached out his finger and he just let me prick him.
Mm-hmm.
Which would take three. And then the door opens and this guy looks into the room, the guy from yesterday, and he just calls for help in both directions. He knows that he's going to stick, and he couldn't believe his eyes. He just decided this is this is how we're going to do it. So when they would recommend pump and you know I had to respect him for this,
Of
and they
course.
realized it. They realized it as well, and I am completely aware of the benefits with the pumps and everything, and but I'm also aware of the other sides. And I'm not going into a war on that because it's very simple. If you wear a pump,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to use a pen.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the end of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to use a pen, then and I'm going to come to this later, then that's when how are we going to make it easy for my son?
Yes.
What does he have to do
Mm-hmm.
to get the right amount of insulin? That's the only question, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So when you use the pump calculates it itself, right? With the
It
sensor.
has a logarithm that is patented and it
It's
very
already
smart and
embedded
it's
in it.
and they learn and they learn. I don't know very much about pumps. I must be honest. I
Uh-huh.
can't really say. I remember I'm just a dad that has to respect my son for this. But I have learned and I've seen and I've talked to people using it. So they do what they obviously should do. They track your blood sugar and they give you the insulin you need as you go. But you can't really know what it's doing, and you have to know how to use it, and you have to know what to do in emergencies. And if a pump kills you, then it's your fault because it's disclaimers all the way down,
Uh-huh. Wow.
right? And it has to be that, of course,
Yes, of
but
course.
that's kind of reflected in the user interface, I would say.
Okay. So he chose to use the pen. He chose to do the
Prick
injections
the finger.
himself.
The prick the finger. He chose to not have a needle in his body
Uh-huh.
all the time, rather than to be pricked. That was the only question. I will not walk around with a continuous needle anywhere in my body,
Okay.
and I don't want anybody to know that I am diabetic. I wanted to hide it.
Okay. Right.
Maybe he's
Okay.
a little extra unsocial, but I mean, he's not alone.
No, there are a lot of people who actually, for that exactly reason, wouldn't wear a continuous glucose monitor. They
Yeah.
don't want extra questions, they don't want extra
Mhm.
opinion. And also, I know
Mm.
that this could make a noise, and especially in the classroom, if it's kids, it creates extra
Yeah.
attention that
Beep, beep, I am diabetic.
yes, so I know that some kids are okay with that. They okay to explain what it is, and
Mhm.
some kids not. And same thing goes with adults. So this is totally individual choice. But when you do the pen, you have to be able to calculate how much you should inject, right? How much of
Right.
insulin you have to
Okay.
inject. And
Yeah.
that's where your uh, caring father brain went to, how to help your son to do those calculations, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it was in the beginning, I mean, we when we got the math, the papers explaining in detail, then I sat down and I made a note on the side, what is it necessary? And I figured out, okay, I only did this equation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a simple equation, and I realized that I had to use parentheses when I typed it into my calculator. Actually, I used double parentheses because I was afraid of making a mistake. I realized way later that I only needed one parenthesis,
Mm-hmm.
and so I could type it in. And then, uh, but first you have to check the blood sugar, of course, and
Yes.
then you can start typing. And then you have to okay, let's all agree how much carbs are on this plate, and blah blah blah. And then we're done. And then I got the result, which is like with 8 digits.
Oh, wow.
And and I realized that I rounded the wrong way
Uh-huh.
because, and I realized because the nurse was like laughing and said, no, no, that's 8.5. And I had to look 3 times. And I realized this is going to be hard. I am good at math. I'm an architect. I work a lot with engineers. I have a
Yes.
mathematical head. And I realized quickly that okay, I had to remember that as well. But of course, then I tried to make, I went into to my iPhone on numbers and I made a spreadsheet, which I guess very many people do. Just take this equation, put it in, and make it effective. And I made it round to zero point 0.5 the
Mm-hmm.
right way automatically, this way. And then I started to make like I realized the carb input is on an accuracy of plus minus 5 normally, and it goes from if you make a slider from 0 to 100 or something, 120 I think, then I can actually dial it in or slide it in instead of
Okay.
dialing because when you dial in on a spreadsheet on a phone, it jumps around and Fred would never use it. And then I thought. Uh, that's when I had the idea, how can I make this spreadsheet even better?
Mm-hmm.
Spreadsheet is the best invention on the computer, by the way. I mean, that's what it's all about. 90% of the whole benefit
Yes.
of computers is because of spreadsheet, because it's so genius. And then I realized I had to make an app that
Mm-hmm.
could so it could be stable on the screen and that you could use it the right way. But I have to say that there was one step before that. But because when I was sitting with this, and he was going to have to go to school and to grandparents and anybody, how would they calculate? How much do I have to teach them? it's a lot. And uh, I I figured out that since he is eating 3 slices of bread and one
Yes.
yogurt in his
Uh-huh.
lunchbox, I know how much carbs that is.
Mm-hmm.
So if I make a list of potential insulin doses, which is are because they are that's where the zero point 0.5 comes in because it's like 6.57. I made that list, and on next to that list, I made blood sugar from two, and I used, of course, the spreadsheet to calculate that for me. And then I printed it, used some scissors and laminated, and put it in the lunchbox. So the what we had
Genius.
to teach,
Yes.
what we had to teach to the kindergarten or the school or anybody was that just make sure that just make sure he looks at the tape. He knows how to do it.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing we had to teach them was how to change the needles or to change when the pen was out of insulin.
Mm-hmm.
But the true safety and the management and anything was just kind of completely taken care of just
Mm-hmm.
because of this little piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
So and then he changed some insulin sensitivity, got some new factors. Okay, print it out. But we're back, and so back at dinner, I would bring out this that is spreadsheet thing, and
Mm-hmm.
I had like one or two clicks, and I was ready. And
Okay.
I had, and then I said, okay, he has, if I can give this to him, he can do it. But I yeah, then I have to make an app.
Mm-hmm.
And he had it on test flight as I was developing it. So he was using it from day one. Or he was
Yes.
actually using also the little spreadsheet for a while, but then that's why it became an app.
We had to change location, so not a problem
Yeah.
at all. And
No, no.
Peter, you were talking about the spreadsheets that you made for your son, and then
Mhm.
but every time when there are uh, some changes happened, you needed a new spreadsheet. So you decided that you need to make an app. How did that
Yeah,
transition happen?
well, when you change your insulin or he changes insulin sensitivity, it's okay to print one more time, but it doesn't really work. It only works if it's the same carbs. So
Uh-huh.
we have 3 slices of bread and one yogurt or a banana or one glass of apple juice. Those were the choices for breakfast, lunch, and in the evening. So dinner, then you need my like the number your iPhone up, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
enough with a piece of paper. But that jumps around. It's just a spreadsheet. It's just not convenient. And when I realized I had to make an app,
Mm-hmm.
a very long design process made short, I realized that I could make it even better than a
Uh-huh.
spreadsheet could ever be, or that what you can do in a normal spreadsheet. Because of course, when you make an app, you can take advantage of
Yes.
that kind of freedom. Yeah. And then that was the app. And now I managed to publish it. And I thought, well,
Okay.
fine. I
Perfect.
just hope that anyone that for some reason wants to use a pen, or like I said, that if you have a pump, what if you need to use a pen for a little while? Why not
Mm-hmm.
have all the intelligence that is in the pump available to you, unhidden, no hidden algorithms? You are in complete control, and you know what you're doing, and you can see also in the app when you if you download it and try it, you can see that you also kind of have a feeling for what's going on with the different parameters that you can toggle with, you know. Uh,
Absolutely. And I was thinking about the fact that, yes, when someone has type 1 diabetes, in most cases, the pump is being paid by the insurance, it's covered by the insurance, and people can have it. But there are situations, especially with type 2, when people don't have type 1 diagnosis,
Oh
but
yeah, of the
they have
economic perspective.
insulin dependence and they
Mm,
have to use the pen
mm,
every time.
yeah.
And the calculation is sometimes challenging, you're right. So when you have the app that will help you to find the exact dosage, it will be much easier. I agree with you.
Yeah, well, and to those who are listening, you don't understand what we're talking about. It's very much because this app, it feels to me, it feels like an invention, kind of. And I
Hmm.
was talking to an old professor. He said he made something like this out of plastic and wood back in the days. It's
Uh-huh.
like some kind of like a ruler that you can move around on things, and then and of course, if you haven't seen it before, you don't know what this is. But once you understand it and you tried
Uh-huh.
it once, it's completely easy. It's the most easy thing you can do. And the punchline, I guess, or not the punchline, the shortest way to tell this is at every meal, you know, Alfred, no, sorry, I said his name. Can't take
Don't
it.
worry.
The point is that every meal, my son, he goes to the table and he puts his finger on the screen and he drags, and we all agree this is 80 carbs, let's say.
Uh-huh.
He puts the phone on the table, and then he pricks his finger, and the exact second that he can see his blood sugar on the little Bluetooth device, and faster than any Bluetooth connection ever will do it, he just looks back at the phone, and there he can see the insulin dose. So it's zero time from when you know your blood sugar until you can. So he just moves the hand away from the blood sugar meter over to the pen
Mm-hmm.
very politely under the table, and inserts that this is what he does at home. And if it's a different place, he goes to the toilet. I know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's very quick and nobody knows his blood sugar. It's not
Mm-hmm.
recorded in the app. Nobody can see it around the table. But he knows what he has to switch to a different carbohydrate factor, or ratio, what they call it,
Mm-hmm.
in the morning. And if he has, if we're going on the top of the mountain, or if he has some active insulin, he just taps on 7 on the target blood sugar, and we don't really double check anything anymore. No.
That's actually sounds to me as a complicated part because I don't use it, and
Mhm.
but I think that if this is something that may help people to to do it, as you said, almost automatically, when you don't need to use a lot of thinking, a lot of calculation, you just do it. It's
Mhm.
it's a great thing to have an access, and it's obviously for those who not wearing the pump. This is obviously for,
Sure.
but sometimes, people not wearing the pump because they have, but they still have to use the insulin and not on
Mhm.
such a regular, tight, controlled basis as people with type 1, but still. And I
Mhm.
guess for those who have to use the insulin daily, even
Yep.
like 2 times a day,
Mhm.
it's a good tool to use to help
Mhm.
yourself with that, right?
I mean, there are people that are very resourceful, and there are people that are not.
Mm-hmm.
And and the potential for help among those that are less resourceful. And I can compare this because of my son, because he is less resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
No, uh, um, to have him, and I won't name the other names of other apps, but first, of course, you have to pay for the basic calculation, but then you have to tap 23 times if you actually count how many, because you have to type your blood sugar, 4.5. Are you sure? Enter blah, blah, blah. It's 23 clicks
Mm-hmm.
every meal, every day. and everybody agrees. It's just when I realized I have one click,
Yeah,
then it just blew my mind. Oh God, I should.
absolutely. You know,
Where's
see,
Steve Jobs when I can brag to him?
well, some people have the tremor. Some people have the
Yeah, yeah,
challenge to see exactly the numbers. And I
yeah, yeah,
know that my mother, she when she's using the phone and she needs to tap on the phone the something or even the
yeah,
tablet,
yeah,
she
mm,
her finger shakes and
yeah,
she sometimes accidentally can press instead of one time three
yeah.
times, which
Yeah,
is
and where did that page go now? And yeah,
exactly, it's very frustrating to her, and I'm sure that some people experience that as well. So this is
yeah,
a
yeah. I think if you can use a phone, then you can use this, and but it's made supposed to be very easy. I mean, like I said, you drag the slider and the big your carb guess, as you can call it,
mhm,
comes up big on the screen because this is the moment you touch the app. This is the moment you're sitting in front of the food. This is the moment where you can use your extra energy instead of being irritated of 23 taps. You can use that to change your mind because you can see the insulin going up and down on the screen as you're dialing. And
mhm,
if you know your blood sugar already, right? Let's say you know your blood sugar and you see that you're going to take 8.5, but it's almost 9. And then you look at, yeah, okay, maybe those potatoes are a little bigger, I must admit. And then you tap plus, and you realize, oh, it's a clear 9.
mhm,
So you have you can use, if you have less resources, if you have this app, you are prompted to use your resources where it matters most.
yeah,
So I think that's a huge potential. I can just, in my mind, I also have this kid in Bangladesh with a smartphone. For some
mhm,
reason, this is my fantasy. And then he can get started with this and be so so well regulated. I mean, my son was the best regulated kids in the children's hospital.
of course.
He was because of this prototype.
Okay.
And the others were wearing pumps and pants and everything.
All right.
But that's anecdotal evidence, but
Yes.
still it's true. But I think there is a reason why I mean, yeah, it must have also been us good at guessing carbs. But when you can guess carbs and you can see the consequences, I mean, if you guess carbs and you 3 hours, 2 hours later, or next meal, like we always do, 4 hours later, but we don't normally measure other than just the meals. And oh my God, that must have been that hamburger that you ate at the gas station. Okay, let's store a favorite on that one and jank it up to 90.
Uh-huh.
So you remember, okay, so you can do those, and then you can get better at guessing carbs because that's the only thing, the app doesn't do. If you're going to carbs, sure, but then you have a number. If you have the number, dial it into the to my app, and then you're good to go. You
Absolutely.
still need to check your blood sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Peter, this is great, and I'm really happy that you was able to find this is you said people would think I'm a bad father. No, you see, you are the such a caring father who actually took action and used your knowledge and your ability to see the numbers to organize the data and turn into something that people who don't have your knowledge, expertise,
Mhm.
education, and they can use it to make their lives easier. And I see how people with insulin dependence, no matter what number, diabetes type 1, type 2, type
Mhm.
3, uh,
Mhm.
LADA, this 1.5, everybody who has to have the insulin, it makes it much easier, of course, if you don't wear a pump. So, how people can learn more? This is the website that we have here on your screen. It's
Yeah.
www.diabolus.no. This is
Yeah, that's for Norway. Yes. Yeah.
okay. So this is where people can find it.
Yeah. I am going to. My company is named Diabolus, but the app is going to change name.
Mm-hmm.
But to BareBolus, I believe, because I have a trademark application in for that.
Okay.
But on the web page there is just a short user manual, and of course a link to the App Store. So far, but just for now, I'm working on this as quickly as I can. But for now, it's unfortunately Apple only. It
Mm-hmm.
will be for Android. That's my hope. And also, it's only metric.
Okay.
So for that will be in an upcoming update as soon as I can manage. Yeah.
All right. And so is it a free download or it's a paid app for right now?
No, the idea is just that it's free. Yeah.
Okay.
But I am contemplating some widgets that will be like handy, handy and helpful, and that I think also can make you better regulated. But those should cost just a little bit because it
Well,
has to be, it has
you
to go around, as we say in
yeah.
Norway.
Yes. Well, uh once
Or
people
I can
know
maybe
that
I can get sorry, maybe I can get funding, or maybe some big company will buy me. I don't know.
absolutely. Yes, this is, right now what you have, people could download
Sure,
for free and they
for
don't
free.
have to worry about that. This is thank you to you
Yeah.
from me to you for this offer, and this is a great thing to have, at least to have an information about this. And
Mhm.
we will stay in touch with you. So as soon as you have things formalized and officially officiated, we could talk about how your app could work with the app that we have here. Um,
Exactly.
with that, we'll have to wrap up right now. But before we
Okay.
go away, I wanted to remind everyone about the some activities that are happening in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. And I wanted to start with the reminder about our support group. Every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we meet not in Facebook, outside of Facebook, and talk about challenges where people who are diagnosed, they're sharing their experiences or raise their questions. Very often we have our dietitian joining us. Very often we have our other members who've been on this journey for a while sharing their experiences. So this is a great support tool that we provide. Of course, every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, our podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360, goes live in Facebook group. And I also posted on our YouTube channel. It's called Smart Move 360, and this is the podcast information and all the episodes that we have posted there in the last 3 years. You could find it there. One more thing that we do every last Saturday of the month, Kim Kyle, a registered dietitian, and myself, we run the Diabetes 101 for caregivers. It's a crash course where Kim is focusing on specifics. It could be what is A1C, or what is a good snack, or how to shop, educate, effectively, and don't buy something that will not be helping, or what to cook for dinner, or if you go to the restaurant, what to eat there. So different topics. We already had the whole month, a year of 2025 every month. So this is our project for 25. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll move it on. I mentioned our app, Diabetes 101. It's available on Apple and Google stores. And shortly, I hope we will have Peter's app available through us as a sub app. So anybody will be able to find his app easily
Mhm.
through us
Good.
until he will have his own app published and all this. So, uh,
Yeah, so yeah, of course, there might be people listening that are actually use millimoles per liters, and they're it's ready to go.
they're
It's on the App
already
Store,
ready
so
to,
it's just
absolutely.
that there will be yeah.
Europe, of course, Canada, they
Mhm.
are using Africa, I believe South America in most places, they are using the metric system. So, um,
Mhm.
thank you
Yep.
for working on making this easy to use for people in the United States and some other
Yeah.
countries that use that system. But
Mhm. Yeah,
nevertheless,
it needs to be done.
it needs to
Yeah,
be done and it
it
needs
needs
to
to be
be
done.
easy. You just swap it,
Yeah,
which system we are operating in.
yeah.
Well, Peter, thank you very much for finding time to meet with me and talk about your invention. This is a great tool, and I'm sure that once people learn about it and start using it, they will find it extremely useful and will be recommending it further. For those who were interested to learn about it more, you could always, first of all, reach out to Peter through our Facebook group. He's our Facebook group member. And on his website,
Yeah.
which is, I will post the name of the website, the link to the website on the description for this episode, so you will have a chance to do that as well.
And
And
if you have the app, then you're in the settings, of course, there's an email link there as well, and
yeah,
just get straight to me because it's only me anyway.
absolutely.
Mm.
Well, with that, we will wrap up for today. Thank you very much again, everybody who listened to it. Please share this information with those who may need it. And if you have a story, reach out to me and we will have your interview also recorded and published. That will be a great support for those who need that information and affirmation that they are going to be okay. All
Mm.
right. Have a great rest of your week and talk to you next week.
Uh, And yeah, most of the money in diabetes helps goes to improving technology.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest potential for help is among those who have less resources. They are bad, poorly regulated. That's where you can help the most.
Yes, for sure.